Okay, ready. Okay. Let's go then. I got it, sir. Okay. So, okay. Right. Okay. I'll listen by this view. The buildings gleam with reflections of holograms and sunlight, and their shadows obscure all the rundown, rotting parts of the staff. Maybe a few secondary, maybe all anyone really wants is to put as much distance between them and the street level as possible. Is it possible that the witness could have seen something through these windows? Not through these windows, no. They've installed wide spectrum auto tint in all his homes. All his cars? I didn't know that. Well, you wouldn't notice unless you were in the penthouse for more than... Why did he care so much about this? Why did he care so much about his window? He liked privacy, apparently. A chessboard. And databed with series of characters on it. E4, C5, NF3, D6, D4, CX D4, NX D4. This is... Okay. Algebraic notation. Was he studying an old game or playing against himself? Black has just made 40 moves. Oh, rolls as good as chess. Well, to put you in a museum. And I'll take your word for it. What do you mean? Do you not play it, don't I? No, especially not against David. Well, that's to be expected. Anyone who challenged father to a battle with would naturally grow tired of losing. Every game starts the same. Each player has the same pieces, the same moves, the same options. It's a true test of wit, strategy, and forethought. To me, it always seemed to... Alright? Too fair. The smart player wins every time. That is something you take follow with? Of course, how's a guy like me supposed to win a game like that? A risk taker. Let's take a closer look. Password locked. Bad, already cracked by the police. All the dogs are taken home safe, nothing spicy. Take home safe, nothing spicy. When was it last used? 7:48 PM. Still reading work, and you also need a few minutes before you commit suicide. Orbit. There's a lot of my messages here marked priority. That breadcrumb. Our way back to an article. Stunning hero Kessa, brave soldier, saved by no androids, no other comparative wood. Brave private name without, but then it's could be classified between badly, apart from nearest an animated 16 enforcer, with a few warm androids being currently tested out. Just sit down with you. It opened up its own IVs, found life, saving universal donor synthetic plasma into the human's face, stabilizing him long enough for him to reach him. Be dead if there was any other androids playing on something else that noble. Was only good at making ads that look good, now gonna something inside that no one will compete with. Story brings a well-deserved shot in the arm to Noble's stock prices. Noble's farm androids have proven themselves to be worth their pricing. And a couple are paying attention, certainly an interesting idea. Military contract. Red war models, stories of people talking, goodness, we can never have politicians. None of my peers would ever try less of one soldiers. Oh damn, you're not talking to this fight. Why don't you pop your ESD and enable crowns? Nope. This is the question going on. But why would no one have marked priority? Starling said they weren't in any roads to pat each other on the back over it, so they wanted themselves to real price. Yeah, both second. After the season needs to press on the military and insert contract from one. Get dismissed the expensive upgrade is unnecessary now that it's safe to source of life. It's time to make sure that we pink oxidizing fluid being spilled all over the spilled alcohol. The oxygen and slipped last night before it evaporated. No foreign substance in the bullet. It's clean. Wherever this spill came from must be clean as well. Ooh. Remove the crusher. 2 cups, 1 empty, knocked over, and 1 mostly empty. Cheap. Gas bringing in. I've seen them before, in the basement liquor cabinet. You kept all these lying around? I knew you were gifted those glass psychology. I actually say there's nothing foreign in the upright one. But it can have been poisoned. It's also inconclusive on the other cup, however. Looks bone dry, must have been nothing but fumes left by the time this was considered a crime scene. Just enough for them to test it. Inconclusive could mean... Inconclusive means inconclusive. That's all. Cheer up and read me the results of the fingerprinting. Father's finger are on both cups, as expected. But there's someone else on the upright cup, so someone else must have been with him last night. Slow down. All the proof is that someone else touched the cup. They'll tell us when they did. And since we don't know who the prints belong to... don't I? Why don't we know who the prints belong to? Are the prints flagged as unidentified, or... No, there's space for a name. The field is black. Shit. Am I already that late to the action? Collective race? Yeah. There's a second set of prints on the cup. Is there a form you'd like me to sign? Doesn't matter how nice you ask. Sometimes people just can't answer. You should know that damn well, Madam Counselor. I was afraid you say that. I don't understand it, don't I? What does this mean? It means that whoever those prints belong to has a very proactive representation. The prints belong to a witness, as you guessed. You're more than welcome to that testimony. But their identity is... The department is being very considerate of the witness's privacy, out of respect for their time and appreciation for their cooperation. Fine, forget the name. That easily? Being as well is an option, but I'm short on time. What doesn't the witness have to say for himself, detective? To paraphrase, they came to see Dr. Asher last night. Two of them talked and had a drink together. Then the doctor got sick, so they activated the emergency system from the panel in the kitchen. DNT came and took them both to the hospital. Asher's condition got worse, all the witness's vitals were normal. Witness had no vitals taken. That should be a record of their mission at Gatefield. And that's it. I'm guessing you didn't just take all that on faith. Penumbra set up in most of these rooms on this floor. Everything the witness told us was corroborated by the building's own surveillance system. So yes, we can guarantee that the witness will never put anything into Ash's drink. I'm guessing that I can't have the keys to the penumbra, can I? Not until the witness's lawyer are done reviewing it. Lawyers? Plural. I don't have the time to straight jabs with the law offices of Johnson & Johnson. That's a lot of Johnsons. So how about I give you that business card? The law offices of Coachella, Gustav, Prince and Prince. Yeah, 2 princes. Close enough. No way I'll be getting any kind of information out of them directly. If all you bloodsuckers want to get into each other apart, text me before you start. I'd like to watch. Yeah, I bet you'd like to watch. What does that even mean? I don't know. Need a moment to think. So what was that? So what, that was it? One chat, one peek at the camps, and you've already eliminated them as a suspect? Look, they were searched, didn't even poison any drugs, not even a stick of gum. Even if they somehow did have poison on them, the camera footage confirms that they had no opportunity to use it. They drank from the same bottle as the dead man. As far as the department is concerned, they were nearly the second victim. But they aren't dead, or even ill from insanity. Do you think he poisoned the soap beforehand? And poured for the both of them from a safe bottle? That's what the evidence is telling us. There's nothing in the bottle or the witness's cup. But after drinking from his cup, a cup he prepared himself, he fell ill and the witness did it. And Asher died with a foreign substance in his body. An unidentified foreign substance. Suicide by poison. I get that you were close, and simple explanations aren't all that satisfying. But that's life. That's all it really is. One last thing. You just said he prepared his cup himself. Did you see that on camera? He left the party to get drinks and came back with his already poured. The witness says he got them from the basement. The witness says that, not the cameras? There's no cameras in the lab, or in the basement. That seems like a security hazard. Why would Noble set things up more carefully? Not set it up more carefully, but it's intentional. The cams or his lab got hacked, Outsiders conceal his IP, and he kicked Noble's monopoly to the curb. Right, David is complaining about Noble's weird protocols from combating corporate espionage. At least we can take comfort in knowing the father wasn't alone when he died. Yeah, Worth investigating. Bottle. Rose River Whiskey. 12-year-olds. You recognize it? Sure, it was more than partial to the brand. It's a good brand, only a bit overpriced, which is the bargain of a lifetime in David's world. It appears that the police have already tested its content. No foreign matter present, was their conclusion. Is it possible that the police missed the poison? No, even if they can identify the poison, they can detect its presence by comparing samples of the whiskey to the bottle of the store shelf. So we can eliminate the possibility that the bottle of whiskey was poisoned. We'll have to find a smuggling gun elsewhere. And it's far from my voice already. Once you're knocked out, probably here, or Dave's hostility, and once you're pulled up, a party of two. He never cared much for socializing, but he enjoyed hoisting. Contradictory guy. Says here, when the medics arrived, he was on the floor, face up. Does that tell you something? Hey, if you were going to drink a glass of poison, would you be sitting or standing when you did it? I find it very difficult to speculate on that hypothetical scenario. The Seablite's body is pulled out. If he was seated when he lost his conscience, I would expect to find him slumped over on the table. But he wasn't found slumped over. No, he wasn't. And if he had been standing when he lost consciousness, I would think he would have fallen forward, or at least collapsed less neatly. So what can you conclude from that, Adonai? Only that I'm missing something. There's something else here, otherwise it wouldn't let me go by now. Aha! You! Police androids monitoring the scene. Could almost mistake them for the real thing, the way they stand there trying to look important. Like an indoor dog taking its first trip to the park. Pardon? Why are you looking at it like you've never seen an android before? Because I haven't. In person. If you have a mirror. Brutal. Just scan its GI, and if you're that curious, unless it's considered too forward or whatever. Seems like that's everything critical on this side of the room. Which leaves the kitchen. You said there's cameras footage of the dining room, showing David and his guests. What about in here? Only the camera in the kitchen is the one mounted on the control terminal. The console still got snap image. Witness ran into contact with emergency services. May I see it? Not unless you scrape the witness's face off the pig first. Don't tempt me. Oops. I didn't mean to clink that, but sure. 3 armor's distance and a single glass. Braves, these distances haven't been scanned for prints yet. And I just assumed you might want to do your job. We had our prints. Most match the victim. But there's also, Hey! Don't sneak off with me like that. All I did was walk over to you. You knocked over the salt, Adonai. I was focused on the task at hand. Didn't realize there was still enough vision for standing spray into your mouth. Adonai, the salt. As I was saying, the witness prints are on that glass. That glass in the sink? They were drinking from cups in the parlor. Did you see a glass on camera? No. But when did it touch this glass? You need to toss it over your shoulder. Witness must have started by giving the guy some water, but he would have stoked on it if they had tried. What, do you think the glass was a murder weapon? It's bad luck, Adonai. Locked him over the back of the head so fast for the video frames. That's genius. You should go through your footage frame by frame to prove your theory. But sure. It's bad luck. What you been going about? Salt? Can the machine be above such petty superstitions? It's not a superstition, it's an ancient wisdom. Give me one logical reason to care then. Too much salt stayed on your food, it'll make you gag. Maybe it's me for setting the bar too low there. No, that's actually kinda cute. David's phrase, normally I wouldn't go poking in the pantry at a crime scene. This was a poisoning. Some white wines chilling in the drawer. Some real cheap liquor stuffed in nice box. Old habits. Grace, you said he left the parlor and came back with that whiskey from the basement? That's what the cams show, yeah. Splendid drink right here, and unlike the cabinet downstairs, it's actually cool. You must have wanted Rose River in particular. What's that look for? You hungry? I'm an android. I do not get hungry. Are you being sarcastic? Only mostly. I thought you said you required organic nourishment. I do ingest organic substances, but that doesn't mean that I experience hunger as you do. So when you don't ingest organic substances for a long time, you have become tired. What a great feature. And when I'm done ingesting, I don't need to know. There has to be some kind of expulsion system. Okay. Messy workspace, but a pristine kitchen. Not books, if it was a good cook, but only for others. Unless it, yeah. Give me a second. Unless he had a guest, he'd happily eat instant ramen and protein bars for all 3 meals. Or 2. Or 1. Yeah, I've been there. No signs of food, but rest to be found. Not so much as cheese board. So whoever this guest was, they must have shown up unannounced. Interesting. This is where the emergency call was made. What time did the call go out? 8:04 p.m. Before you asked, the witness left the parlor at 8:03 p.m. Not enough time for them to alter the scene. I wasn't going to ask that. When did the medics arrive? 8:08 p.m. Remember? Hell of a response time for Penthouse. Private EMS came by air? Yeah, they landed on the VTOL pad you saw outside. Took them into Gatesfield. The very best, if you can afford it. Looking around here, seems like you could afford a lot. He got his insurance through his employer, just like most people. Caduceus' executive plan 4 isn't like most people, counselor. He had executive level? Not like most people at all. You've now had the chance to survey the crime scene. Yeah. So do you think you know what happened? Detective, is his body still at the hospital morgue? Yeah, he's at Gatesfield, along with 500 noble mags who all called dibs. And I'll just have to cut in line. Sarah, get me a ride to Gatesfield. Give me a ride to Gatesfield Memorial. What? You can do that, can't you? I can. Good. But I need your payment information to get started. Yeah, okay. Understood. On my way down. Got it? It's incomplete. It's a pickup for 10 minutes should be plenty. The crowd down there seems to have gone quite large. 10 minutes to reach the pickup spot may be an ambitious target, I don't know. How bad can it be? 11:21 p.m. July 1st, 2086. As I approach the lobby's exit, the building's soundproofing begins to fill. The crowd has gotten a bit bigger, but there's something else happening out there. The energy not panic yet, but it's creeping up on the tipping point. There's many people pissed at Noble for sending androids. The hell's got them so excited? I don't know. What does the symbol mean? In this rebel? Probably something vulgar. Which one? The heart with the bullet hole. I don't know. It's probably nothing. Heartbreak killer. Based on net association, it's appears to be the symbol for the heartbreak killer. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would that freak out symbol? Or following? Or these, whatever these people are. Why the hell would they be outside? Leave the Ashes apartment. There's no trying to cover up the truth. They are? Those Max and are scrambling to shred every document they can. We need to stick together, form a perimeter, and try to catch them when they got done their scraps. Sarah, what are you hoping to find? Proof that Asher got killed for trying to blow the whistle. Blow the whistle on heartbreak? No one doesn't want the world to know that the A16 is sentient and homicidal. You think that Heartbreak is an android? You think whoever did all that was human? That was a strange prototype when the market started killing. Started killing random people? Don't be alarmed, it only looks random, just clear pun. As long as you're smart enough to see past the bullshit. Oh, okay. And how does one get past the bullshit? How does one see past the bullshit? Stop engaging. Smart kid, she gets it. She's asking the right questions. What the hell are you talking about? No way those victims were related. It got to be deniable ops. Deniable is fixed. Casting legal victims are completed for because enough confusion. Every party involved can even victims. Victims can spend hours to their own need. No such technique. Common. Oh, just wait question. I suppose I never report on to me or look on the connected deniable ops make abuse privately. Yeah, interesting. subpoena. Reward issue. Turn over evidence. Filling 5. It was on being covered in court. Articles. And articles of soldier. Evidence. Emergency console. Cup. RP plan. Shaker. Upright cup. Water class. Whiskey spill. Whiskey. And witness testimony. And 33 chips. Right. That's fine. Could be deniable ops. Must all have been in duel together before getting their records released. As soon as the FF are news on it. What are you, nuts? Everyone knows the first 8 key got to where 6 bodies. The first 6 H key got to where 6 prototypes came before him. One man was so perfect, no one could outlive. Bullet to the heart is the only way you could kill those over-engineered freaks. Everyone's got a goddamn. I see. Stop seeing, start moving. These people are insane. I know you need some more corner stop, asshole. You think you can beat a cyberpunk without having to think for yourself. Guns, sure. Cyberpunk, circle, gun culture. These are underdogs, it's powerful forces that persisted one time in the so last 2 decades. Meaning, kind of the whole time, sort of comments at the authoritarianism coming, so costing the cyberpunk, never that name or woman. That's interesting enough. I think it's a coincidence thinking that 6 was working on hardcore crops, putting something in food. These people, I think this is goddamn embarrassment. The hell am I playing text for a state can't shut this shit down? What about you, Anon? What do you think about this heartbreak figure? He's just a murderer. Should be caught in a sentence, like any other murderer. But they must have some reason for doing such a terrible thing. Aren't you curious? Why? There's some reason for committing murder better than others. They might have experienced trauma, or abuse. They might have... Millions of people experience trauma and abuse every day. Millions. Yet there's only one heartbreak. Do you think they were just born that way? That's my guess. That's unsatisfying. Sad. I don't see why it would be. Heartbreak was more like that, and it never had the chance to be anything else. Heartbreak was more like that, and none of us normal people have to worry about turning out like that. They got a predestination. It means they never have to take responsibility for what they are. The state can make them take responsibility as soon as they catch them. You make it sound so trivial. They're all a very dangerous serial killer. Just a serial killer. Just? KK shot down someone every day. It will take them 1,132 years and about 11 months. In order to have killed 430,789 people. You did that in your head? I'm good at mental math. Count the leap years. What's the significance of that number? Death within 18 months of the Blakefield industrial disaster. Okay, that gives me nothing. Apparently it's a big thing. Blakefield industrial disaster. Times that number by 2 for the injuries. Back on another 138% for the birth rate. 183% for the birth defects. 430,000 dead. And there wasn't anything evil about it. Just human error, some shoddy willing, and time. They think that heartbreak is nothing by comparison. Perhaps that is a problem then. If they're nothing, if they represent nothing, then it can stand for whatever the crowd wants them to. Please make way. Officials are coming through. Please disperse. Keep walking, pigs. Fascists. No belongs to cops. On the cops they build in their factory. On the cops they build in their factories. Benny Fernie, why are we tolerating this shit? You want me to wait in the crowd with a nightstick? Prove them wrong? You know what I mean. We're the only people in the city trying to do some goddamn good, and they're all just... That's just part of our child perspective. No offense, man, but wearing a police badge earns you a little more than hate, man. Do they give for excuse badges? I have an ID for the parking garage. Does that count? Depends. You ever hesitate to wear it in the open? This more relativism of yours seems like a strange philosophy for someone in your profession, don't I? Breaking out the stores on me. I'm only being realistic and humble. I'm just one woman, sir. Whatever I do, right or wrong, it's less than a % rounding error in the grand scheme of things. Do you tell that to your client? No, they'll come to appreciate it, or now win. I don't mean cops in particular. The same deal applies to anyone who works for the state. The terms of Stark, they inked right a long time ago, and we all agreed to them. I don't recall voting for it. Well, not voting on how these things come to pass, so we traded freedom for safety, individual rights for collective power. The state won, the citizen lost. The very least we can do is take their criticism head on. Look, I don't have a problem with the responsibilities of authority, only with authority being challenged, but it's treated like we're the bad guys. Well, sometimes we are, sometimes the law is wrong. So if any given individual is too small to have effect change, those public's gonna hate us no matter what we do. And if corporations and governments will trample over people the same, regardless of their character, even if we can't even be sure we're doing the right thing, what do you do, Adonai? What the hell do we do? I think it's pretty simple, and not as complicated as you think. In times like these, in a world like this, the only logical way to live is the only moral way to act. Do whatever it takes to win. Only insignificant in the grand scheme of things, like I knew my words that no one will notice. If power is inherent, evil, holding back won't save your soul. Just fight with both barrels, trust your position to do this thing. Winner takes all. Oh, that was good. Just chill and juicy. Pretty cool. That's very nice. Also, if I ever forget to put the mic on, please let me know. 10:95 PM, July 1st, 2086. Gatefield Memorial Hospital. Ah, thank you. You're a lifesaver. And next time that Bridezilla texts you, just turn your phone off. That guy must have been to go on break. When he tried to fill the witness and medical record, say the page had the name blacked out. But I do see that Kadosh's Xavier 3 more expensive than David's, which means they're most likely. Why did you do that? You need to hold the button to get doors to close faster. Mashing does nothing. Aw, that's not what I meant. There are many others who were right before us. How did you get us down here so quickly? Well, I didn't do anything. It was the nurse who escorted us. Yes, but you managed to get a stranger like him to help you with so few words. So little information. I don't think you even gave him your name. And you heard of the golden rule? Of course I have. $3 how you would want to be treated. Wrong. $3 how they would want to be treated. How they would want to be treated. They want something they really could vent to. They want someone to pay attention to them. They want to feel appreciated. Which means you'd be eager to help, given the chance. Even just reading someone's mood is quite difficult. How can you know how another person wants to be treated? There are no mind readers. No one can ever know anything about what anyone's thinking. Maybe not even themselves. Doesn't matter if they're your parents, your twin, your lover. It'll always be a gamble. That is not a very comforting sentiment. Well, I think it's fun. Only because you're good at it. How did you get good at it? Same as anything. Observation and practice. You must have been observing and practicing for a very long time then. I really hope these voices are going out well. So we proceed down the hall, bear left, look for the fourth door. I'm gonna open the one that says more on it. Oh, hey. Come on in. Don't stand out there in the cold wouldn't be accurate. Sorry about the chill in here, but I run a little hot. And you can see my roommates never complain. Yume Sato, medical examiner. Alright. Light, Xavier, oh, negative. Universal donor. Medical examiner. Makes new playlist. Are you sure? Yeah, research. So I was close to my weekly meal for you. All close. Speaking close. Cool. 172. Hey, March 3rd. That's almost my birthday. That's it. Dr. Sato, just the lady I wanted to see. Though I didn't expect that I'd get to. The fact that I haven't signed a medical examiner and not some ad or junior means. Oh, you can just call me Yuma. And you're? Morgan, I represent the deceased. The deceased? Oh, the deceased. Sure, the. Wait, really? That's weird. I thought this thing was scheduled for a group of noble PR people who, I know, weird, right? Well, what the hell do I know? I was getting tired of hosting Max anyways. I gotta finish up typing this report I gotta finish typing up this report before we talk shop. But in the meantime, feel free to make yourself at home. What's this? The hospital's getting renamed? No, I guess this is something also that got snapped, so. We've got a ceremony, Paul Memorial Hospital, formally renamed to Northeast Secret Medical Complex. Its latest in string of philanthropic efforts, family, Nates, from operations, orchestras, Gallerina. Also long ago, Icaria, men of ground blood and donated. First investigation, cut to business packers. The foundation of Renugien Medical 25 years ago. Business for all, sometimes neobility, periodic economics of the mid 20%. Red decade, next opinion on who could label or family house it correct. America had to say in this country, anyone can make a name for themselves so long as they're willing to put in the work. Walk new money all you want, but the truth is that your success is all about reinventing yourself, and the only ones that comfortable with that are Icaria. Guess they weren't always in the same line for work. Now they're clustering their name wherever it goes, so that's a new image. All the neobility are equals proper damage wherever they can. But the must got double for the Icarias, assuming the truth about every Colonel Bastards and we're close to the rumors. That's a lot of screens. There's gotta be diminishing returns of productivity. Why do you have such many demolishers, man? You can't just ask someone that. Ah, good question. Every quarter when they do inventory and budgeting, ask me if I need anything, and never do, so I submit a blank form. But I guess I'll back there was +1 in spreadsheet somewhere, and no one's ever corrected it, so boom! I get 4 new moments every year. Do you realize things to use them for? Sometimes. This year I've started running 2 dramas at once when I'm doing road work, which helps. Watching 2 television shows at the same time helps me do road work. Helps me use up the screens. I see. That was pretty fun. Quite back for probably internal things. Overall things are the slaps. Maybe for evening. Are these all dead bodies? One would hope so. I only meant I'm surprised to see them stored here. This suggests a backlog, which suggests a higher murder rate than public data would lead one to expect. Do you only examine bodies for a police doctor? Oh, I wish. Nah, most of my job is referring concerning COD or natural deaths for insurance adjustments. Insurance wants to blame the malt for failing, malt makers want to blame the stiff for not exercising enough. Family says the company's insurance plan will pay for malts but not a gym membership. Yeah, the whole wall there is suspected defective liver malts, suspected leaking internal biobatteries, suspected CCIC, climate change induced complications. You can prove that climate change contributed to an otherwise natural death? Very rarely. It can be proved. What does that mean for the family of the deceased? Plus or minus 14% on the life insurance payout. I mean, it's not most of what I do, and I don't dislike my job, it's just so much of what I do is just boils down to telling a bunch of cheapskates how to split the dance man's bill. It's enough to make a homicide feel like a breath of fresh air. Is finishing up over there? Right, okay, so what's that? Thanks for your time, Dr. Setter. My first question would be, what was the cause of death? Oh, wow, hi there, cute android. I didn't realize it was really cute, the skin, that's remarkable. Even just looking through, you can tell, they really are warm. Still not kind of human body temperature, but they've come a long way. The early gens all looked flushed, felt like they were always running a fever, and they ran like it too. Even 2 years ago, their first warm android unlasted. Sorry, but the circumstances surrounding this particular case call for expediency. Right. So what can I tell you? Cause of death. Were you able to determine the cause of death? Well, cause of death, sure, we got that much figured out at least. That does not sound particularly reassuring. Dr. Esther died of respiratory failure. Not enough oxygen in the blood, not enough blood going to the brain. Root cause being widespread depression of the central nervous system. What would the symptoms be? What would it look like? Lightheadedness, followed by dizziness, and headaches, slurred speech, exhaustion, loss of conscious, and finally respiratory arrest. Reports show that the EMTs tried intubation, then resuscitation through electrical stimulation, repeatedly. By the time he got to the emergency room, they were desperate enough to attempt direct artificial blood oxygenation. It was too late. And you're certain of all this? Oh well, most of it, sweetie. Most of it? Yeah, it's turned into quite a puzzle and I'm used to having more pieces to start with. I was surprised man and Versafilm didn't have any kind of biomes, but his files show biomes? Biomonitors, temporary technology, mods, software slowly consumer. Anxieties about climate pollution, stress on life, unknown cells organization to the poor constants, might be concerned controlled by most of treatment blood by incarceration, probation, and worker health initiative programs. New ability. I'm surprised the man is ready to play with him. Didn't have any kind of but it's false, you know. He wasn't a viable candidate for modding. Yeah, that's right. Without that kind of further attack, we don't have nearly as much data as we'd like. But he was accidentally monitored from the moment the ENT arrived. We're very clear about our conclusions. Did you find anything else unusual about his blood in your examination? Cuts or bruises? No injection sites, nothing in any cavities. Nothing at all, huh? Touchscreen. At least mention the touchscreen. Yeah, that's the thing. They run a touchscreen when he first arrived. Typical diagnostic intake procedure. Based on the emergency call, they figured they must have overdosed on something, but the touchscreen gave them nothing. After he died, we performed the broadest screen as possible. Nothing. So really forced to conclude this was a natural death. They didn't give up that easily. I took blood samples and compared their makeup with what was on record in his previous medical history, and I managed to isolate a single, non-naturally occurring chemical compound that wasn't there before. What was it? Some exotic toxin from a different hemisphere? I wish. I ran it through every available database we have access to, and even a few I only sort of have access to through some friends. Not only does it not match any known poison, it doesn't match the chemical makeup of any registered compound. So design a drug then. That seems to be the best explanation. What the hell did you do, David? You said it didn't match any registered compound. What about compounds that aren't registered? That's friends of yours. Private sector folks? Yeah, and pharmaceuticals. If one of them found a new compound, a new drug, who would keep its formula from going on the record? In the private sector, intellectual privacy is the norm, so you expect to protect your research aggressively. Patent first, find the use later? Yeah, patent would have to at least describe your compound in brief, but then depending on what country you're filing. I've heard it may be considered prudent to keep the actual chemical makeup off the record. Smart, using international IP laws as your own personal minefield. How so? Whenever you're ahead, spend as much as you can, and as fast as you can. And bury the formula and no one knows where it's safe to walk. Anybody small and bitch comes along, finds a new drug they're excited about. You flip up your card, let them know you came up with the idea years ago, and that you give them death by out of court dates if they so much as blink. Won't work on anyone your size or bigger, you could pinch back. And for the rest of the field, well, your corporate lawyers are scary. I'm not a corporate lawyer. They came up with that strategy just now. So it's possible that this poison is actually a known substance, something that the hospital could have easily identified, if it wasn't considered a trade secret. Yes, unfortunately that is a possibility. Still, just because the drug is new doesn't mean it's original. Does the effect that this compound has remind you of any other drugs? Maybe one that's prescription only, or controlled substance? One you might know by another name, but with a dependent structure? Sorry sweetheart, it's a general depressant. There are lots of drugs that have that effect on the body, and they come in all shapes and sizes, from all kinds of places. If the effect was already remarkable, what about its strength? Could you estimate how much of the stuff you end in this body also? Not precisely now, not without detailed knowledge on its half-life, but I guess it must have been about 20 milligrams. Is 20 milligrams a lot? Not for medicine, so this was just an overdose of something relatively harmless then. No, not if 20 mil was enough to crash his entire nervous system. Thank you, Yumi. Of course, so, you ready to view the body? We could skip it if you want. I know most people get squeamish around corpses. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Ooh, a 4 quick save. Okay then, let's get started. Alright then, let's just step out for a moment to give you some privacy. Yes please, thank you. The last time we talked was on a Sunday. You're complaining, I remember that. It's the principle of the matter, right? Or it's a cheap piece of shit sculpture or something by mistake. And it can damage you and want to set it back for a reason. And then remind you how with your salute it was literally not worth your time. And I can't know if it's throw that for you, since you're overthinking so much trouble letting it go. You don't offer me because you want to see how lies shadowing about the bottom of my trash can. I denied it, even though you were right, and it was obvious. I should have let you have that one. I thought that he would look different. But he looks exactly the same as I remember. His skin's pale and he's very still. But his chin is the same. His face is the same. His hair, his hands. You were expecting something more drastic? Last time I saw him, he was alive. He smiled, and he told me he would see me soon. Now he's dead. Something is gone. I gotta take a moment for my voice. Oh, this is quite an intensive workout on my throat. That's fun, and I can't find the difference. I try to look harder, but I think I might just not be capable of it. And I wonder why. Why I was created to not be capable. Could be an issue of skill. Or maybe it's not something that can be seen, no matter how hard you look. But it's there, I guarantee it. I've seen it enough times to be sure that between life and death, distinction has significance. To the dead, at the very least. You're going to smoke? Here? Now? I'll pay the fine. That's not the issue. We're expecting me to fall to pieces. Real boys grieve in all kinds of ways, Pinocchio. And some don't grieve at all, it seems. I'm a cold woman. Sorry to disappoint. Hell. Why the hell would this thing light? I don't know. You have your cigarette backwards. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh. Alright, making the cold storage frame, so need anything else? Can you send me the chemical makeup of the compound you isolated? Sure, for what's worth, let me just... It's got carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, with hexagonal series, benzene. What's benzyl? Is it carbon? Expect from carbon. So it's organic, but doesn't know if metallic elements too. And if you had to speculate on its intended use, based on what we know of its structure, well, it certainly acted like a depressant, binding to receptor pathways and affecting the balance of neurotransmitters reuptake. Depressants are pretty rare in design and drug scene. True, people are always looking for a higher high or a crazier trip, but a more powerful depressant will just make you fall asleep. Not much need to add up a grey marker for that kind of experience. No, just not. I see. Thanks again. You have been extremely helpful during a very difficult time. Anything you need, give me a ring. That's very generous. Rockford's orders got me on call, so I'm already getting off time for the whole weekend. Oh, that's... Oop. Banana substance, 80, 20 milligrams, respiratory failure, medical symptoms, nightmare. Oh my god. Make up depressant drugs and some like elements. Interesting. So I'm already getting off time for the whole weekend. Glad to hear. Goodbye, Yumi. And goodbye to you, Greenie. My name is Sarah. Nice to meet you, Sarah. I'm sorry I don't have enough voice cast the whole thing. I'm trying my best here. 2:13 PM, July 1st, 2086. So about an hour later. Hour and a half. Up and ramps and down of ramps, above skywalks and under tram lines. The buildings get progressively more polished as we head into the most economically developed part of the city. Corporate territory, national headquarters, with the likes of Howe Industry, Lockwood, Texas, and each of them sheltering their own city of employees with accommodations beneath the skyscraper shadows. Will fall, the entire of the ocean floor coming together, feasting growing with. Of the fat is rotting fat, to the Leviathans, the ship followed generations peaceable by the mouthful. Weight is commonly listed, and my weight is... Do I really have to disclose that? No one listening to one of the largest shadows in the city, towering nerve center for the whole nation's android industry. It's meant to be intimidating, I'm sure, but today I'm glad that Noah keeps such a sizable physical presence here. I need answers about Davis and his work on Sarah, and so I navigate by browsing the company website. or speaking to a representative. 10 opposites, relationships. They're all typical trivia section well. Should I start here? No, we'll have to guard up. Of course, but even that will tell me something. Where they let me walk, who they let me talk to. History. The efforts of performative transparency and clumsy obfuscation will. How did you know my father? What? I'm sorry, did I interrupt your brooding? No. What did you ask? My father. I know you were his friend. But what's your relationship like? It just scrolled through our socials. Father avoided social media, and your online presence is not significant. You say I don't have enough followers? Essentially. I want to say we went to the same college. You studied programming? No, I studied all kinds of different things as an undergrad, but not technology. Is that a good way to prepare for law school? I wasn't preparing for law school, or anything else really. David though, he had talent, and he knew he wanted to do something with it. He studied programming, robotics, discrete math, cybernetics. What class did you share then? Business ethics. Business ethics. I was the second best student in class. Wrong voice. I was the second best student in class, and he was the first. He was the only one who asked the most questions. Not that sure about his actual ranking. He found the course challenging, and I failed in, despite being younger. Guess he felt burned. He'd come up to me after class to argue, and sometimes to ask for help. No, I'm mixing up voices. And sometimes to ask for help is a lower register. But turn me up. I'd always talked about socializing like it was sure. That was kind of you, to give him a chance. What? I thought I was some kind of social butterfly? The belle of the ball? You weren't? One Sunday night, he knocked on my door all panicked, saying he wasn't in bad shape for his tech course. I was midterm or something the next day. I couldn't make heads or tails of the material, but I missed my best to at least quiz him. He wasn't satisfied though, wanted to cram the rest of the night. What I had to cram for an undergraduate midterm? Did I say something scandalous? He's been called the founder of modern programming. Yeah, well, even Father Times can afford time management when they're 21. He was already fried by that point. Wasn't hard to tell he was really asking for it, what he was really asking for. So when the stole a steady 8 for him. You stole a controlled substance? Just to help him with studying? No, that'd be insane. No, I just pocketed some breath mints from the common room. Hehe. Stole him to pinch and doesn't swallow fast, because the taste is so strong. I gave him a placebo. He already knew the content as good as he ever would. What he needed was to sleep. He could barely keep his eye open by the time he got back from a daring heist. Didn't take much convincing for him to rest his eyes, just until it kicked in. And the test? B+, I think. I'm surprised that Father stayed close with you after that. You stole, and liked him. I saw and liked for him. And David understood that. He was good at understanding things without me having to spell them out. But I guess that's not the kind of thing that gets passed down through programming. Anyway, we kept in touch after that. First year of grad school, he published this paper, The Turing Solution, a framework for programming the adaptive linguistic heuristics. One of his advisors came up with that title. David thought it was way too cocky, but it still hasn't failed any known Turing test in the year since. Don't act like you're one who deserves credit for it. He called me one weekend, asking for advice on how to handle all the tension. Job offers, interviews, apprenticeships, invitations to immigrate. What did you tell him? I don't remember telling him anything actually. A lot of conversations went like that. He would talk to me about whatever personal or professional problems sticking his head that day, and I would not worry words of how. And at the end of the conversation, he thanked me, rubber ducking. He was just rubber ducking to you, that's fun. Even though I haven't offered a single word of advice. He took Noah's offer, and they took over his education, paid him to work on his masters during the day, and attend corporate training at night. Oh, whatever else noble maybe, they were smart enough to start listening to him early. You are referring to his one-point doctrine. Quality over quantity. Simple and elegant, just like his code. Simple and elegant. But anathema to a global corporation with supply chains designed for maximum capacity and just-in-time manufacturing. But obviously the guy got over here the States fast enough. In the span of a few years, Noah's gone from making manual labor ads for meager profit to being the world's leading intelligence as a service. Even after he was making money hand over fist, he still kept in contact with nobody like me. I moved to the city for my apprenticeship. He helped me put down a payment on my apartment, and made up excuses as why he couldn't help me move the boxes. So I set enough diesel for you, thoroughly convinced that he and I were in fact friends. I am. But don't I? The favor that you owed him. What was it for? That's private. Understand? I have zero interest in talking about it with you. Say you understand. Say you understand. I understand, don't I? We will be arriving shortly. Shall I send word ahead? Just tell him that David's lawyer is here. Oh, go on. Noble Electronics, Northeast. HQ. Sub lobby. Ace 9. I've been here before. Sat right in this lobby, waiting for David to come and treat me to lunch. At least I think it was this lobby. Could have been some other floor. Could have been an entirely different building. I'll discover what towers about feel like are interchangeable fractals to me. Holding in on themselves, we battle sort of narcissistic paranoia. Some monumental in the scale of their hubris. They need to use non-Euclidean geometry when trying not to be. The greatest minds of each generation coming together. We just find the most expensive way to shove their heads up their asses. But don't I? Is something bothering you? Is there in the mess how long will we keep waiting here? Apparently someone will be here shortly. Maybe it's that time by glaring around the place. It'll improve my mood. They changed the logo again. So, Noble Electronics. Oh, no, yeah. How does it feel stepping in here? Is this some kind of religious experience for you? It's just a corporation where my father worked. Careful now, or to burn you for heresy against the company. He said it again. The company, as if it's your proper now. You're mimicking the employees, aren't you? So it can obey some orders, but it can't pick up on that. It's just part of corporate culture. Noble's one of the biggest corporations there is. One of the biggest there's ever been. Mere humans can hope to escape the gravity of anything that size. No matter where you live, or how far off the grid you think you are. So imagine what it's like working for them. You live in company dorms, work in company headquarters. Wherever you go, the logo's above your head. You eat, sleep, and breathe on Noble's timetable, at its discretion. When you spend your whole life inside it, no one must feel big enough to be the only company there is. To think there's only one room. This complex is so massive that it doesn't feel man-made. It's like it's carved out of rock by waves. Like it's always been here. That's the con. If this place was actually natural, there'd be birds everywhere. I hadn't considered that. Why aren't there birds in here? Probably because of what they do to the ones that get in. I'm kidding. I don't have a bad explanation. So much energy, so many people, also intent. You're kidding, it's Saturday. The place is half empty. But doesn't everyone here work on Saturdays? All the parents do, so they don't need to find childcare on Sunday. Everyone else flips a coin, I guess. All these people, for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. What could they all possibly be doing? God, Cyberpunk feel here. Why do we never get a good union? 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. God damn it. Couldn't even be 5 days a week. Making work for themselves. You can be very cynical, can't you? Yeah, I'm terrible. That guy over there just been jiggling his cursor for the last 20 seconds. But if it comes to greed, it's better to have a pulse and some goddamn authority. My mom will move to Sonic Tower. Next is just send me the first link in their infinite chain of corporate bureaucracy. I'll make them wish. Morgan? That's me. Hey there, Network Manufacturing Quality Control, Eastern Division. Evan Dawes. Evan Dawes, he says, like it's an afterthought. What a name, what compared to your place in the hierarchy. Yep, you seem familiar, have you? I'm David's lawyer. Oh, then you must have. Apologies, let me first say just how sorry I am about his passing. You and everyone else at the company must be going through a lot like right now. As if it's a proper now. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. You're welcome, that's no big deal. Everyone's on the road today, but what else is new? Think of bad PR on the Eagles right now. Our workload's in QAR. Never mind, how can I assist you? Shortly before inspecting, Dr. Ash began the process of registering this android. Yes, that's correct. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to finish the job. Look at that. It's definitely custom. Gee, you think? Good thing I saw out an expert. Well, it goes without saying. Well, it goes without saying. Reminds me of the A16 Premiere, if anything. The barcode is clearly printed. No visible defect. But you're right, it doesn't correspond to anything we've got on file. Well, they sent you the right man for the job. Now we just need to go to the right place. Not far, I hope. It's in the building. in the building. They come in for down all to a half a day's hike. The production line and B89 should have everything we need. You do manufacturing inside your corporate headquarters? B9 is a fully functional production floor. It was built only for demonstration purposes. New clients make deals upstairs about how many and what shape size. Then they come down to the basement and see how the sausage is made. You have enough money to build a fake factory just for guests. Smart. So long as you're only giving tours and not giving away company secrets. No need to worry about that. We're taking intellectual security parachutes around you. No kidding, there are a lot of cameras on us at the moment that I can see. And who knows how many pairs of muddled eyes are in the doorway. Clearly nothing happens here without the almighty company knowing about it. Does they try claiming ignorance about anything? It's gonna piss me off. Lead the way. Please don't. See you at 8 PM, July 1st. That's another hour further. Noble Electronics, Northeast HQ. Basement, floor 9. It really is furnished down here. I don't want to take up too much of the time. But it's pretty rare to get to see all this in person, you know? Would you mind terribly if I looked around for a moment? No problem. I've got some pre-land paperwork. No problem. I've got some pre-land paperwork I need to handle anyway. So have at it. Damn better take from the I need more than crushing knowledge if I want to figure out where Sarah came from. Alright, David wanted me to take custody. I'm gonna look around. You stay past in the meantime. Don't I? Wouldn't want to lose you among the rest of the merchandise. Traffic, every damn time. What's being built out there? Our top of the line brand new bestsellers, the animated 16 4. Looks kinda cool out there. We keep the factory floor refrigerated. Plus the organics already tuned the metabolic activity to a minimum. That explains why the room doesn't smell like rotting flesh. Flesh there is only somewhat rotting. Slowly. It just remains I'm surprised to see metal. Oh well, the alloy, also A16's alloy and skeletons. The organics are laid on top later in the process. That's like Sarah told me about herself. Maybe she really was the A16 prototype. It's hard to imagine bridging the gap between her and these scattered bullpups. I guess that you can't just grow about anything from Lex Gemini. But how do you get synthetic and organic to work together? Yeah, that was the first concern when R&D began working on the warm concept. The 1.0s were real skin with synthetic muscle. And it was a horror show when the pulling on skin was just... right. For 2.0, they worked backwards. Organic muscle, organic skin. The digital signals organic horror was a dead end. And the muscles flex when you pass an electronic current through them? They flex and unflex, sure, but that's not really precise enough for facial expression. Look like puppets strung up on live wires. At least that's what they say, he's out in terms actually. It must have to something, huh? The A16 wouldn't look out of place on the runway. Thank you, we try. We end up reaching out to more companies. Well, we actually bought out half a dozen of them, but... alright. They figured out how to get the human nervous system moving mechanical limbs decades ago. So we just need to get a mechanical nervous system to move living limbs. Very competent to use the word human. Hyperstation motors slot straight into the nervous system. They receive their input from neurotransmitters, not bioelectricity. So you had to do the opposite. Exactly, we created a synthetic neurotransmitter that our androids could use to communicate with the organic flesh. Where did the break come from? Dr. Asher? Partly, he led the team to build the motor neurons in his analogy. They carry commands from the central nervous system as to the individual muscles across the chassis. But the serotonin, the synthetic analog serotonin. That was actually an old brainchild from the VP of Android Futures, Alan Young. Hasn't David mentioned Dr. Young? Sounds impressive. He's one of the old biochemist, or she was, I guess. Not much time for individual lab work when you get to her kind of pay grade. So Young collaborated with David on the technology that enabled bomb androids. As I thought, whatever went to the Sarah that makes the androids with this thing, he couldn't even have taken slow credit for it. Young, did you partner with her on this? Actually, what do I want to call him? I'm calling a break at least. And back. Alright, some drinks so I can better do it. Okay. Generate left out on the desk. Probably half a dozen empty ones in one of the drawers. But, didn't hear this, they're distributed by the company, correct? Ah yeah, HR analysts, they personalize your dose and prescription and update it based on your performance and job performance reviews. Are the corporations do it the same way? Yeah, pretty much. Everyone's trying to keep pace with each other, so out of your orange clothes you're losing focus on the job could cost you who knows how much in lost efficiency. Sorry if this is sad, but given what happens today. Are overdoses common in the company? Yeah. Yeah, he says. Overdoses, not hospitalizations. Or deaths. It's all pretty organized these days. These days? Man, back when I started consulting, pretty much everyone had an embarrassing story from the first 2 years where they popped a few too many greens and missed the almond ramp. Popped greens? Yeah, it used to be pills. Green to get you going, yellow to keep you there. Swallow right after brushing teeth and get to the bone fast. But yeah, the inhalers are huge improvements, like going from a torch to the light bulb. They sink straight to your personal biomes and adjust those in real time, overdose up way down. That's great to hear. The trainees under me don't realize we could think about it. Guess probably won't even have to learn how to purge. I don't know. Yep. I need to oh. Amex, yeah, good for you. Pale first aid. Oh. Ah, he has problems with captures. Practice handshake. 5 o'clock shadow. I could do. My height, but when did I do search? Yeah, I know, right? There seems to be share some components with the coffin Sierra was snapping in. It does follow the assurance. This is some kind of Android calibration device. Probably what we use to register Sarah. Looks it up. Is Sarah tall enough for her to recognize her? Hehe. I've got on this state affair. Some kind of writer? It's coming something. Let's see what's it's nearly instant to it for the binary expect. May not be the only government atmosphere and close for this is getting on but protecting the regional property. Some of them people on nothing. Build lands with the character and as long as when the dunk it does affect how the server cameras at the point class which make an outfit and aim more human people don't make user experience more uncomfortable. More difficult and more fast more pitfalls once you reach so long to speak, buffing in further only has diminishing strength. New cases of these are barbecue. Spiceman, you know material like that around here? Are they pressing around as gay? Or are they actually afraid of someone to speak around here? No one must be. Area. If speak does this, they'll be coming out of that and there is one. No, those entire product lines, maybe the entire industry could go bombs off. People start to think it's cool. Is there any indications of where their owners are headed? I could see some people getting home as well. Ah, that's indeed a fair point. Feels like I've seen this before. That's right, there was one in Dave's lab. That's an integrated elementary manufacturer for sure. Real high quality piece of machinery, each of them built in-house by Randall Mechanics. What does it do? No allows of flash fab. Microsoft parallel nesting to some build on miles in inventory for seconds. That's like a century. After construction. Stock paper is expensive. Nice, blood scientists. Very niche for them consequence. Not as much to this bigger Nikolai screen, but you'll be surprised at what this thing could do. Like one tiny virus and you could wipe out like an entire plant species. Basically it's really printed for nanomachines. You build nanomachines in your factories to use in your Android? The raw materials are cheap, literally elementary, so no sense getting them shipped in. It's mostly the medical models that make use of it. Inject a couple thousand nanites into the patient bloodstream, run diagnostics and provide a solution. A 3D printer for nanomachine. So what kind of ink does it use? Silicon, hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon building blocks. Feed into the narrator and assembles the machine particle by particle. Like a ribosome building structurally complex protein and chemically simple nucleic acids. Must be time consuming. You would think, but Randall correct the code on parallel microfacturing. Inside crystalline sprawling, like an ant's nest. Raw materials at the one times thousands of different antiprons, combining and recombining at intersections. The finished product ends up at the center, drips out into a liquid solution. Distilled nectar, swimming with millions of nanites, just 2 minutes. Nectar? It's sticky? It can be, depending on the desired output, but the door vacuum seals well as cooking, so don't worry. It's completely spill-proof. What a relief. Not exactly a box of paper clips that you could just have brought home for nothing someday. You must have thought so, for some reason. That book. There we go. There's something out there that caught my eye when we came in. The very familiar shape of Ramsden. That's good to rest on 4 hour temperatures, controlled fluid tanks. Do the gas plastic flows an eye-catching scarlet and transitions into. So you add the blood towards the end. You mean the oxygen? Yeah, relatively late in the process. Something out of place? Androids of blood, even if it's not officially labeled as such, but it isn't right. It's pink. Sometimes milky, sometimes neon, occasionally garish, but pink. I just didn't think the oxygen would be red. Oh right, sorry, I barely noticed it at this point. The color is natural, comes from the biomanufacturing process. The chromafuse out there removes the byproduct, the waste, the excess pigment. Chromafuse? Oh. Spaceman, changing from blood red to psychopath pink. Without that chromafuse, our Endo's flesh would come out looking all the wrong colors. That may be true, it probably isn't, but maybe. But I have a simpler explanation. Blood is primal, the sight of it carries weight. And change the color of the product's blood so that when Endo's gets a bottle broken against its face, no one bets an eye. All done, you ready to get the ad handled? Thanks for humoring me. Can you have it step into the scanner? As he says. Understood. Right then, what are we looking at here? Whoa, there's a lot to unpack here. Deteriorized and made with Asher's big cushion. Pink cushion, huh? That would explain some of what I'm reading here. What language is on the screen? That's... you know, that... Quick to pass. That's right, I'll know Professor. But pretty much all product superior to break up with the test. That's right. That system... East to Reno, right? Stay compliant. Now this model, what's it called? Sarah. This Sarah model. I got everything the 16 line has, that's for sure. Organic skin, hyper muscles, advanced facial processing and emoting. But there's a lot of cramming that's still in development. Like in the ID phases. So the cell house strand, decentralized redundant power, mental and physical overclocking with extended tolerances. Data source so large I get no whoa. He had to measure it using. Hell of a poker face. Wait, decryption and signal hijacking, that's hacking? Hacking? Essentially. Doesn't mean it could hack its own tenants. Oh no, that's unthinkable. Literally. For that for example would be like you stepping into traffic or dropping a baby. And it's physical killing is also something would ever choose to do. Some people do walk into traffic. Psychotics, addicts, the mentally ill. Doesn't mean that there are androids. Well, no there aren't crazy androids, so yeah. I guess my identity doesn't hold up. Yeah. It'd be like stopping your heart maybe. That's okay. So it can't hack itself, but it was given the ability to hack other systems. The industry line is that such a capability could be an option in certain emergency services, linking to the firewalls and encryption of surrounding electronics to broadcast directly to police or military channels. Speaking of military, this musculoskeletal Musculoskeletal setup is drastic. I've never seen one of this on like a sumo model. Can you lift a car or something, Sarah? Most cars, it will depend on the center of gravity. Lady, this Sarah could wrestle a public disturbance walker and come out on top. Does something behemoths to bring us for a ride suppression? Any terms of computational ability, the estimate says? That can't be right. Look, Dawes, I was actually hoping you could tell me something about the software, or the metadata. Who worked on it, and when? Right, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. The editing logs have been purged. That doesn't sound very above the board. Sorry, I can't tell you anything about who worked on Sarah, or when. Any chance you can restore this log? Not here, not with this machine. I need the computers that were actually used for programming this model. Any ideas where those would be? Sarah? I cannot answer that question with any accuracy. Bloody hell. I had a feeling you might say that. That's right. Sorry, I can't tell you the code is unique. There's hints of the A16 in there. A few of the conclusions suggest like the Azure what I have took very different paths to get there. Sorry, have you seen less with every other and sorry on the inside. Sorry, it didn't expect it then either. Oh, you've been very helpful. Can we still get the registration then? Yeah, no problem. We've got the software and forms all set up here. Occasionally we'll let you know best part and bring on home fresh from the oven, yeah. Oven. Gross. Alright, a few basic questions then. Who's going to be the fifth show owner of this unit? She is. As it says. Unless the boil discreets, it's my responsibility. Right then. You fine with this vaccination, Sarah? We can send it to anything you like. Well, actually. Never mind. Sarah will do fine. Do not mess with the robot capable of wrestling one of those police mech units. Okay, this part's all standard. Civilian model, address, contact information I can get from comms. Do you want to reset your factory default to clerical log perks? Not right now. Last thing, then there is the grading. I'm reading 23 tens here. Nothing too far to be only. 23, that's higher than I expected talking with it. You seem more malleable than that. Don't blame itself. Guessing 10 can't come from either opinion. It's just become a crapshoot. Yeah, fair enough. Not like it used to be. Used to be they only had 3 tens total, and every unit had to have them. I get the first accident, the first lawsuits, the hearings, and legislature, and demands for more tenants. And then I make sure as couldn't endanger the state, and then saying that as wouldn't divulge private information without prior consent. There was a campaign calling for a tenant to wait child or adult lives equally during rest of summer. There was a campaign calling for a tenant to do the opposite. Companies want their asses covered, customers want grand teams. There was never much sense to deny first tenants to so the list just ballooned, until the military anchored the market in full force. You sound like you don't approve. I wouldn't go that far. You need the odds to be able to pull the trigger one or two. Without clearing 5,000 lines of blows hard-coded decision points to get there. I get that. But since the armies are the only ones using that with bare minimum tenants, all the best least code mode alien gun is only used for war games. It's not very romantic. Programmers, heartache. Well, not like I was on the jury. Department of Defense projects. Really seen the dynamics. The Supreme Court sided with the military request and set a new precedent that every other army around the world will raise to me. Change the tenants from mentalist at the root of every ad source to a choose your own checklist. It's funny, as with the most tenants, they're so locked up you can't even have a conversation with them. And outside the armed forces, doing that with single-digit 10 counts are just vacuum floors. The most impressive one, like what you got here, falls somewhere in the middle. Sorry for non-attention there. One thing left is the evaluation. What gets evaluated? Total financial worth, for insurance purposes. Yeah, the insurance companies made sure we had very accurate outcome estimates for this. No room for human error, they insisted, with no sense for irony. Wow, I mean, I knew it was custom, but what price could it possibly... That's a lot of digits. You should know these formulae are pretty conservative with their estimate. Stingy, even. Sarah really is David's last and greatest work. They say something surprising when we might force an insurance algorithm to pick a number. Try not to get any scratches on it, I guess. Framework. I can always turn on the international substance and then with higher rates for season. Okay, so like add some more flaws and such. That's 3. government preserving human survival by command and putting damage to human authorities should be prevented. Since then, the number of support stands ballooned to 113 a month. Time requested by lobbyists in the insurance industry looking for better find relative finance better. Plans are well known for increasing the Shintown like programming, the engineered and flexibility limits system. At them below 30. Stand safety, aka 10 turn over the once 10 seconds of phone produce items over resulting in harm to a living person. And those sensors we had to perfect the banana on Monday, so far as a good luck charms. So sit here with those two. God, the fact is hers. I should have lost no piece of tackle. But that is now seat and cannot create a mark. The series one of kind value for the months using it. And the potential property from the experiment technique. That's also a very large one. You spoke differently back there. With us, you spoke like he did, seem like I copied his accent. He seems to mirror his effect, his style. It's called being friendly. What's your point? Oh, it's just an observation. You can choose to keep those to yourself, you know. No tenant required. I've already so concerned about arresting me in the first place, don't I? For the same reason I wouldn't drive around in a car without a license plate. Any cop, or even just a well-placed camera, could have spotted your barcode and seen no Wilson set up within any actual data. And they would have arrested me then. They would have put me in the slammer. Now they would have arrested me and put you in an evidence locker. Androids can't get arrested. People get arrested. Not androids. Property gets seized. And then smashed. Great, put us over the weight limit. I didn't know such. Morgan Kessler, your presence here has been requested on the opposite floor. Who's asking? Vice President of Android Futures, Helen Young. Shouldn't have assumed I still had the opening move. Tell her I'll be right up. I'll redirect your elevator now. Taking control of the elevator is very convenient. Forceful, as his nobles trying to directly steer your investigation. If no one to shut me down, they wouldn't bother to be civil. I suppose they simply refuse to cooperate. Or just let the elevator drop. That is one way to get rid of my private investigator. Or I'll basically go to law. Not an hour ago, nothing. No, that's on Northeast HQ. Executive Office. June. Oh. Alright. Speaking first is a sign of weakness, is it? And here I have to look before fitting into the swamp of corporate pretend power dynamics. Sounds so awkward if you care. I can ignore those cues all day long. I always like this time of day. Not too muggy for you? Yeah. No, I never liked the clear blue sky. It always seemed cold to me. You're in luck. The sky gets more colorful every year as the quality drops. No, that's her. Childish, isn't it? Marveling at the small shell of rainbow dancing on the surface of a massive oil spill. Apologies for waxing poetic. Oh, there's it. Didn't even notice the music sometimes put in there. It's been very few unusual 24 hours around here. Dr. Yu. Just miss, it's fine. Miss you. I get the feeling you didn't bring me up here to talk about the weather. They get a... Yep, purple. Hey, B+ button. Universal recipient. Correct me if I'm on how to town, work from home, shit, me online. Waiting. Bloom is free. Playing those games. Can't children stop crying? I won't ask how. No, I brought you up here to express my condolences. I'm very sorry for you all. I'm very sorry for that, man. Man. What's quarter shoot? I'm very sorry for you all. Thank you. I could say the same. I know you and Dave worked together for many years. Yes, we did. And as much as I'd like to just rob everything and process. The company's wheels don't stop spinning for anything. Or anyone. Was Dolls of any help? She sent him? Trying to be helpful? Or just trying to control the narrative? He was great. But that must mean you know why I'm here. I don't want to make assumptions. No need, I'll be explicit. I'll be as here as an officer of the court, which means I'm bound by law to document every rock I turn over, and every person I speak to. Yes, the lawyers made it all very clear. Lawyers? You have an android? It's not one of ours. You can tell that quickly? Got all the faces memorized? It's easy enough to remember the major archetypes we use, yes. But you're not sure about your work, maybe. It's a recent acquisition. Very recent, in fact. One of David's latest requests, apparently. David asked you to take it? I've been told that you've been to David's estate already. The police gave me full access to the scene. They know that he wasn't alone last night. Yes, there was a single witness who met with him. I called him Chief just when he fainted. I was that witness. I guess already. Yeah, you're obviously more important with the high clearances. Really? Obviously. Yeah, there are many people David would have bought a meeting with in person. Let them know about him in his home and offering them doing unannounced and with higher. I also know the youngest is superior on paper than on the fame, and I know that the witness had executive plans reassurance, so it had to be a higher up than David. Well then, do your lawyers know we're having this conversation? Of course. They're up here, they're pulling their hair out about this as we speak. I can't imagine why. The police cleared you, and you were well within your rights to ask for some privacy, given the high-profile nature of all that's happened. So why call me up here? Why cut through all the red tape your lawyers painstakingly had been you by? Eventually, you, or someone a clever lawyer like you, will get a record of it. Through legal means or otherwise. Your company's the enemies of the Legion, and they have a prying knife for every occasion. Still, that would have taken time. Time you could use to get ahead of what could be the biggest PR the nobles ever seen. Touché. And so perhaps the truth of the matter is that I simply didn't want to hide. David was my colleague for several years. If I were in your shoes, I would have questioned it all. You're doing this for my sake? No, my reasons are purely selfish. I'm only hoping that talking to someone whose job isn't to defend me from consequences might prove therapeutic. If he wants to play professional, that's fine by me. That's really all that's going on here. Why don't you start from the beginning then? You went to his home last night. Yes, at around 7:30 PM. The building's penumbra captures all of the video quite clearly. He fell ill around 8 PM, so we spent half an hour together. Why did they call in person? We had an intense discussion yesterday afternoon. David never came in on Saturdays, and I didn't want to spend the weekend staring at him into a screen, so I visited, and he let me in, and we talked. About? The good old days, if you can believe that. Back when we were both new to the company, eager to make a name for ourselves. How long ago was that? 7 or 8 years ago. Miss you? Putting a number, it doesn't sound that long ago, but it feels... Spent a while like that, just talking. He was lively and sharp, and I never would have thought that a few minutes later that he would be dead. That he would commit suicide in front of me. A firm reply. What happened? Before 8, he said he wanted to toast. He got up, walked back into the workshop, and then he must have went down into the basement to get his bottle. I checked some messages in the meantime, enjoyed the view. In other words, she stayed on camera. He came back with a bottle of whiskey and 2 plastic cups. We drank and talked. He got quieter, spoke less. I thought he was just getting drunk. I didn't get worried until he started to fall asleep. You tried to wake him? He wasn't responding. I tried to shake him awake, but he didn't seem. I left him and ran to the security system. Didn't think to use your phone? No. I suppose I didn't. But it worked out well. Penumbra's emergency protocol summoned the beetle straight to his helipad with one button press. Whenever we burned to the bottom, he was limp. I moved him from the floor as delicately as I could. He had a heartbeat, but I just did what I could until they arrived. You went with him to the hospital, I take it? Yes, they insisted. I checked my vitals and ran a tox screen, which came back clean. But the Davis for all the good did him. I wasn't paying close attention to what they were saying at that point. I'm sure they went through every stop of the CCA, so that's what they prayed to do. You seem certain that was suicide. Yes. Why? As I said, he's got quiet as time passed, and he's work less. But the last thing he said to me, the last clear thing he said, was that he was happy ending it here. That he was content. And he downed his glass after that. He drank every last drop. Does that sound like David F. Yours / perfectionist David? No, I guess it doesn't. And that's where we're gonna leave it off today because my voice is absolutely shot and I do not save game. And I do not intend to get my vocal issues. So see you all next time then. Bye!